When told that I am to share before you insight about Brigada's journey the past 10 years, I nearly fell from my chair, as many of you would know that I am not that public speaking kind of person. But as a good Brigada soldier, trained for the last 9 years, obey first before you complain. Yun lang daw kung magreklamo. I was fresh out of college when I joined Brigada, which was also then in its formative years, so to speak. And when you're young, fresh graduate, you usually would not have the long experience nor the skills to brag to a hiring company where you're applying for a job. What I had back then was my college diploma, the excitement of getting a job and guts. I was taken in as an admin staff in 2006. There were only few of us then, only a handful as compared to what we have now. There is a really huge difference. But the first 9 years I spent with Brigada gave me enough learning, maybe more than what I got in college. I have learned so much in the most practical manner. Hard knocks, they say. The Brigada way, I would say. The learning you cannot get that even from the best school we have, they are priceless. We started from almost nothing. The workplace we had was only enough to accommodate the handful of workers, then including Ma'am Yelsie and Sir Elmer. Everything we went through then in terms of work, ins and out of business, bear an impact of everything that we have today, which is why I feel sad for those who are new to Brigada and seemingly look down to the inato manner we do things. Mind you, these are what brought us here today. The challenges and obstacles we have confronted on a daily basis are like a hot ember that tempered us, made us strong, and more determined to do the task that we have back then. I feel fortunate and blessed to have witnessed how Brigada grew as a company. Many of us who were in that infancy period of Brigada were like toddlers thrown into the water, not knowing how to swim, but are left with no choice but to move, struggle, and do something to survive. And obviously, we did. But in that struggle, we moved in the unison leading to us in one direction that seemingly is the gateway to where we are now. The reason we are gathered tonight in this merriment of success, a celebration of the decade of passionate service. You might wonder how we did it. Before Brigada Healthline Corporation, the earnings of Brigada newspaper was the bread and butter of the company. It is why we must print the newspaper at all costs. There was a lone offset printing machine, and when trouble hit the machine, we have the other ways to print the machine. Imagine having to work even in the middle of the night, helping out in folding the newspaper pages along with Ma'am Yelsie and Sir Elmer. At times, we have ink smudges on our faces because we used the Duplo in printing the newspaper, but we were happy then doing all those things. One of the most challenging work, which I cannot forget, was when me and Ma'am Yen would receive the cash count and the newspaper remittances of our distributor, pay and coins. And it would take us an hour to finish all those things. There was also that instance when I nearly forgot to place an order, an earning for the revenue of newspaper. I was reminded by Sir Elmer that I need to think as the owner of the company, so I cannot forget the things I need to do. I realized that I need to develop the attitude of ownership towards the company. A sense of ownership indeed adds value. How do you think for the company? Those days were always a process of learning. We learn from our mistakes. It was so difficult, hurdling challenges, but there were no complaints. We were so preoccupied in finishing our task, and you hardly have the time to think. It is already time to go home. Wala pa yung overtime sa una. As what I have said, having surpassed all those challenges allowed us to appreciate the value of your work. You learn to love not just your position, but the job and the work involved. And as we march into a new horizon in Brigada, let us strive for more, not for what we can benefit from, but for Brigada to grow bigger and better and be able to serve more. We will pave the way, set the path for coming generations of Kabrigada. Such an ambitious task, but it is not so different from the past 10 years. My experiences has taught me this. Work with value, success will follow. The work we do today with value shall be the success of the generations to come. And as I end my piece, let me leave you the popular phrase. If we do not do the things we need to do, who will? If not us, who will? If not now, when? Daghang salamat, magandang gabi.